Hi everyone, this is Anne. Welcome back to an episode of my Chatelaine Diaries. I think this is part either 3 or 4. I will put that in the title of the video. I thought I would check in and talk to you guys a little bit about where I've gotten to on this project currently. So last time I just had the middle section finished. I have since gone on to start on this interior border, I guess I would call it. I guess I should back up and say for anyone who's new, this is the Desert Mandala pattern by Chatelaine. I am stitching it on a 28 count Lugana from Picture This Plus. The colorway is Calypso. And I am using the called for DMC and silk threads and beads when I get to them. I have been working on this outer cacti border. The border is basically done in 4 parts, and it is charted the whole way around, but basically this section down through here is 1/4. So you'll see that repeats. So I've done just a little bit over half of that. All of the cacti are stitched with silk. The only colors that are not silk, grab my pointer here, are these specialty stitches. These really pale yellow ones, and these specialty stitches that are bright orange. Everything else is a hand-painted silk, so there's some beautiful variation in the colors throughout, and I'm really happy with how the kind of sandy brown colors and the sagebrush colors show up on the fabric that I've picked. Let me give you guys a close-up. The saguaro, and the sagebrush, and then these chala cactus. This type of cactus right here is very prevalent where we are. They're sometimes called the jumping cactus, and it's because the spines that they have on them stick very far out, and if they even brush against something, it actually pulls one of the kind of almost oval shaped leaves, I guess it is, off. They have like a kind of thick, almost aloe-like texture to them. There was one place we used to ride the horses a lot where my boy Ben got one stuck under his gut, and he was not a bucky kind of horse, but could not figure out why he was stepping out so oddly. It was because he had one of those stuck right kind of under his rib cage. So I was always very grateful he did not launch me when that happened. It took almost nothing to have that cactus stick into him. Anyway, I digress. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit this go round about the specialty stitches that this section has. And I've gotten a lot of questions about, how bad are the stitches to do? How difficult are they? And I wanted to just kind of talk you guys through that a little bit. I am going to show you the instructions for this section. There's no chart in here, but it's going to discuss how these specialty stitches are done. Actually, let me scooch this over so you can see the illustration while I talk. So for this set, there are 2 different sort of diamond-shaped sets of specialty stitches. These diamond eyelets appear here, as well as here in the pink. The other type of specialty stitch is very, very similar. It's this one right here. And that one appears, sorry you guys, hoping I'm not making anybody seasick. That appears here. There's two sets. There's one set worked for this side of the blossom and one set worked for this side of the blossom with the center point lined up. See if I can get in close enough you guys can see that right there. And then these are the other diamond eyelets. I found these to be really simple to work. If you look back on the instruction sheet, it shows you really, really clearly. You're gonna come up at 1, go down here, up at 3, down here, up at 5, down here, 7, 9, and then you finish with this top stitch. And it's very similar to work this, you just work it in a different direction. So 1 is buried and then you go to 2. Come up in the same hole and go to 4. Come up in the same hole, go to 6. So the diagrams that Martina includes on her patterns, I think, so far, are very straightforward and very easy to read. She tells you what she wants you to work the stitches in. For instance, here, work the flowers as 2 opposite diamond eyelets using 1 ply of DMC 741. So really straightforward, and you can look at the example picture and see where those are supposed to live, and then they also appear on the chart. So there's not too much confusion. The only thing you just have to do is to follow her instructions row by row. I really, really recommend that. It looks like it's going to be, you know, really daunting to do, but she starts you out and tells you add the cross stitches first, then you do the back stitching and the special stitches, and she tells you which ones to start with and what color to use and how many plies to back stitch with. So at least for this section, I did not find that those specialty stitches were difficult to do at all. They were very straightforward. I love these ones on the sagebrush. Love how those came out. You can see almost everything is back stitched except for the sagebrush bushes. At the very end, you go back in and you add an antique gold petite treasure braid for the little cactus prickers. So obviously you're going to do the cross stitch first, then you do the back stitch. In this case, I did the specialty stitches, and then I added the prickers. And she does walk you through all of that, in the instructions. So I am completely finished with this piece from here all the way around to that one. The back stitch is complete, the specialty stitches are complete, the cross stitching obviously is complete, and I have started up here as well. These motifs are not complete yet, but I have started them. So my plan going forward for February of 2018's rotation, when this will come out, is I'm going to move my entire fabric down, and then I will work this way and finish the cacti that are on the top. At that point, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue working just the top half of this piece until I get it completely done. I think that will be easier to keep track of, and I think it will mean I don't have to move my scroll rods quite as often, and I think that'll work out great. The other reason for planning on doing this is the next step is a very narrow border right out here that's kind of octagonal, that is basically all specialty stitches. There's some cross stitch, but not very much. And there'll be spaces left there for beads. There's road stitches and Algerian eyelets. So I will talk about both of those next time. I'm gonna wait to film after I've finished the cacti completely around and I've started that next border with the Algerian eyelets and the road stitches and the little bit of cross stitch. So coming up, I wanted to show you guys what that border is going to include. It's worked almost all in hand-dyed silks. There are 2 colors of water lilies and 1 Gloriana. The Gloriana is delicate teal. This middle purple water lilies is periwinkle. It's showing up a little bit redder here than it is in real life. It's got some more blue purple in it. And then Mediterranean is the blue and purple hand paint. That's also Karen water lilies. And with that exterior border has a ton of beads, and they are those delicas that are very pale turquoise, and then a set of turquoise bicones and a set of turquoise, sorry about that, squares. If you followed these since the beginning, these Chatelaine Diaries, you'll know that this particular one I opted to kit up myself. I wanted to see what the price differential was, so I bought all of the threads myself individually, and then I picked up all of the beads individually. The beads are all from this vendor, Beadaholic, and they have a huge selection. You can find pretty much everything you need, from these odd shaped ones to the delicas. So let's see. So for instance, this package of delica beads, I'd have to pull my invoice and see how many come in the container, but there was plenty for what I needed for the design itself. You can see there was $3.90. The Swarovski crystals, those different types were all, I don't think I spent more than $3 on any one package, and most of them were, you know, $1 and a little bit, so not very expensive. So those items are coming up to be used in the next border. After that, there are the landscapes and some feathers, and I say that like it's but that's a long-term project. But yeah, I'm very excited about moving on and getting to all of those gorgeous blues and purples. I think it's going to be amazing. So I've really been enjoying working on the cactus motifs. Give you guys one more quick close-up of those around the outside edge. And so I will be back once I finish the cacti border, and we'll plan on having started the next border with the specialty stitches, so I can talk to you guys a little bit about that when that comes up. Again, there are spaces left here in the center panel. Those are all going to be beads or other crystals. and I will put those in once I get the piece further to being done. I don't want the larger square ones that live in these, there's 3 right there, that are this size and shape, different color. I don't want those to get crushed or rip anything in the scroll frame, so I'm gonna wait to do those till the very end. So I think that's it this go round, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this little Chatelaine Diaries. There are several others in my video library if you're interested in kind of starting the journey from the beginning with me. Hope to have those cacti finished in the next rotation or 2 and be able to start that next border maybe April or May, depending on how fast I can move through everything else. So that'll be up next. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Happy stitching.